Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and today we are looking at Mega Rayquaza. It's an archetype that's just won the largest ever European regional championships here in Liverpool. It was by the Frenchman Cedric Jouin. I hope I've said his name well enough at least. And we're looking at the deck now with Evolutions coming into play and having a few new cards that you can consider in the list. Not too many changes from Evolutions. You can see I'm only playing one Dragonite, which I'll talk about in a moment. But this is very similar to Cedric's, and basically it's very simple. We're trying to do a huge amount of damage with Rayquaza and hope that that power is enough to win games pretty much. So let's jump into the list, starting with the Pokemon. The 3-3 count of Mega Ray. Because we have so much recycle, we have Dragonite, we have Brock, and we have puzzles. I think 3-3 is fine. You don't want to be drawing into these cards when you don't want them. So having the sort of skimpier line is pretty preferable to you. Additionally, we want to play the colorless regular Rayquaza. This is because the popularity of Mega Gardevoir EX is real right now. It also benefits from Dragonite EX, so that archetype is improving. So it's more preferable to have a lightning weakness than it would be to play the Dragon Ray, which has fairy weakness. So we're using this guy. Additionally, we have the early game option of intensifying burn. For one colorless, we do 10, but if the opponent's active is an EX Pokemon, we do 50 damage more to total out 60. Not a bad prod for a single energy. It can sometimes be relevant if we're dealing with things, especially if we're getting our stadium replaced a lot. Putting a bit of early damage on things is never too bad of an idea. And of course we can prod Giratina sometimes with this guy as well, if need be. You'll pretty much never use Dragon Pulse. It's a horrible attack. If you're stacking up 3 energy, I hope it's a Mega. So let's look at the Mega now. 220 HP is really big. Unless we're getting hit for weakness, it's only really things like Rainbow Road and I guess Mirror Matches that can hit us in one hit. This guy is pretty bulky. We have the Ancient trait, Delta Evolution, so we are able to evolve this guy on the very first turn of the game, which is absolutely fantastic for us. It means we don't have to trouble ourselves finding Spirit Link, because we can just end our turn, especially if we're going first. We don't mind just ending our turn on the Ray, because we would end our turn anyway, so that's pretty handy. Additionally, it means we can, on our first turn, if we're going second, so the second turn of the game, we can, Spirit Link, Mega Evolve on the first turn, and try and get a big old Emerald Break off to hopefully hit KO anything in our path, and really start the aggressiveness with this guy. Very, very good stuff. So the 3 colorless attack cost does 30 times the number of your benched Pokemon. With Skyfield in play, it means we max out at 240, which is obviously a big number, one hit KOing the majority of the format. So that's pretty much what we go for. We use Mega Turbo as well as DCE to try and get that Emerald Break off as quickly as turn 1. So pretty good stuff there. The rest of the cast in terms of Pokemon are really just to support Rayquaza. We have 2 Hoopa EX because Scoundrel Ring is ridiculously good search in here, finding us our Shaymins, our Ray pieces, and other things that could be necessary throughout the game. We have the one-of Dragonite EX. Dragonite is a one-of. I really think that having a 2 count for me, I've tested it. I was going to profile this yesterday, okay? And I was testing with 2 Dragonite for the longest time, and I found it too clunky. I really love its ability pull up. It's a really fantastic ability. It allows us to find 2 basic Pokemon from the discard pile and put them straight into the hand. So basically you just go Shaymin Hoopa, or you just go Shaymin Ray, and it's amazing recycle for us. Dragonite is effectively 90 damage as long as you have the bench space, so it is an amazing card, but there's a big 2 reasons why I only like playing 1 in here. First of all, his retreat cost is 3. He's a ridiculously annoying Lysandre target that people will take notice of and will, take advantage of. I don't like having multiple on the bench. It's just too awkward. Even like floatstoning this guy, people are playing Fright Knight. That's how they'll stall you a lot. So you can see that's why I'm playing a switch and a rope as well. The second reason really is because it's really just when you're reloading when you want to use Dragonite. And the idea with this deck is that you only really need to reload once or twice. I guess that does lead to the argument that you could play 2. I think 2 is a maximum for Dragonite. Really, I just want to play 1 because it's a slow card. It's not that quick. and Ray wants to insta-play a lot of cards because it's trying to get a big combo off, and if you don't hit the combo, you're pretty sad. So let's streamline the deck as best as possible, have one Dragonite for that recovery turn that you need it, and for the rest, we just, you know, have more consistency cards. I think it is amazing as a one-off, definitely, but I don't think 2 is 100% mandatory. Test out for yourselves. At the moment, I'm very happy with a 1 count, especially because, okay, in those matchups where you do need to reload more often, you have Puzzle, you can Puzzle for Dragonite, you have Brock, you can put it back in the deck, so plenty of reasons why I think 1 count is fine in my opinion. Next up, for Shaymin EX, just for crazy draw power, pretty simple stuff. We also play DCE for Sky Return, bear that in mind. And then we have the Magearna EX with that Mystic Heart ability, preventing all effects of your opponent's attacks except damage done to each of your Pokemon that has any metal energy attached. This is going to be really helpful to us because obviously all of our attacks are colorless. We can just take advantage of Magearna so that we're protected from other people using Jirachi, as well as Mega Sizzle's Iron Breaker attack, which would otherwise be really annoying. It could get rid of DCEs. Now, it's still annoying because they get rid of our stadium all the time, and we have to keep recycling that whenever possible. But it's far worse if they get rid of our energy in a lot of situations, so Magearna helps out in that regard. We are playing one Jirachi promo of our own. First of all, it's a non-EX, so that's really helpful to us. It means we can force 7 prize game scenarios, which is awkward for everyone. Additionally, Stardust is a really, really good attack. We just do 10, and discard a special attached to the opponent's active Pokemon. This is obviously a tech card for Giratina. You get rid of double dragons and hope that they don't Chaos Wheel you. So then you break the lock so you can get back into your stadium, back into DCE. These 2 cards are basically how Rayquaza works, so we do really need those online. Jirachi being put in the deck is really helpful for that. And in other random situations, like those mirrors, if they don't play Magearna or they haven't found it or whatever, or just early turns against dark decks, if they're committing DCEs, plenty of reasons where Magearna can get a lot of value. There's a lot of special energy being played right now, and if we're not getting that big combo off, why not try and stall a turn and protect ourselves that little bit more? Could be pretty good. So on to the items now. I'm playing 1 Float, 1 Switch, 1 Rope. Really, it's because I kind of like having the option to use all of them. And because we play Puzzle, it makes sense for me to play 1 of each so that we can, for the right situation, try and spam the one that we need. I think Cedric was playing a full 3 count of Float, okay? Floatstone's good because it's an insta-play card, whereas Rope and Switch would stay in your hand, and that means you're getting less cards from Hoopa and Shaymin. I get why he played the Floatstone, but especially now because of Dragonite, you're so grim against Fright Night Stall that you need at least 1 Switch, and I thought having 1 Switch, 1 Rope is nice. Plenty of situations where Rope is helpful. We can gust things out, be a pseudo Lysandre, so that we continue hitting EXs. If the opponent's promoting a non-EX, think about things like Volcanion. That's really nice because their bench is basically all EXs, then they just sit with their non-EX in the active a lot of the time. That can be great for us. Playing the Switch just in general is nice. If we're against something like Fright Night, you want to deal with that thing. You want to play Switch to then get into your active and just smack it in the face and deal with it. So, plenty of reasons why I like the split of all of them. I think the total count of 3 is okay. It's still kind of a bit low, but you have puzzles, so I guess it works out in that regard. I like the 3 split of total switching cards in my opinion. Next up we are playing 3 Mega Turbo. This is obviously so that we can hit the combo off on the very first turn, hopefully, to get the Mega Ray set up, as well as throughout the game try and set up your second Ray. Pretty simple stuff. 4 counts of Male, Ultra Ball and VS Seeker. We are trying to be as quick and consistent as possible. These things really help out to get that combo rolling. And we are then playing 4 Puzzle of Time as well. I really like Puzzle in here because it can respam a few things. Recovering DCE is a big one. Recovering Skyfield is huge. We need to continually win the Stadium War to do well with Rayquaza. So that's very good. It can spam Dragonite. Dragonite's actually one of the best things to discard once Skyfield gets bounced. Skyfield goes, you can get rid of Dragonite, Hoopa, Shaymin, and then you can puzzle back Dragonite and get Hoopa, Shaymin. It's a very cool combo if that comes off for you. So that's very cool. You can also, you have the option to puzzle back whatever you need for the situation. Sometimes a switch card is also something that you look for quite often, so that's pretty cool. Even like the 1 count of Jirachi, if they do overcome it, but it's a deck that's really hurt by Jirachi, like Plume Box or Giratina heavy decks, or focus decks, I guess. You can puzzle back that Jirachi, you can Dragonite back Jirachi, you can Brock back Jirachi. There's so many ways to get him back and make it annoying for the opponent, so it's just a very good card overall. Next up, onto supporters. So we are playing 1 Brock's Grit. Brock's Grit allows us to shuffle 6 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy from your discard pile back into your deck. And I much prefer Brock over Karen. There's a few reasons for this. Firstly, Karen helps out your opponent. Think about the mirror match and think about Magearna, where all they're doing is discarding their own Hoopas and Shaymins as well a lot of the time. Brock would really help them out. Karen would really help them out, because you're doing what you're doing for a supporter, you're giving them for free. So they don't have to spend their supporter, which means they can be hexing or Lysandering or Sycamoring the turn that, the turns that they want to, because you've gone and gifted them back all their draw support. So you don't want to do that in those matchups. Even against, to some extent, things like Volcanion, you don't want to give them back their resources, just full stop, basically. Secondly, it's because a lot of the time you sort of use Karen to reload and protect yourself from an N. Well, Karen would also force you to put back clunky cards like Mega Rays, Magearna, and Jirachi, which you don't want to draw into to N-proof, whereas Brock's Guts chooses exactly what you want to put in the discard pile. As long as you have more than 6, obviously, you can choose the ones that you want back in the deck and leave the others. Additionally, Brock can also be energy, so just more versatile, more useful, doesn't help your opponent. I would definitely play Brock over Karen any day of the week in Ray. We are playing the 1 Hex Maniac. It's a really big one-of in this deck. It helps so many matchups. Obviously, you need it to get over Giratina. You need it to deal with Volcanion so that they can't one-hit respond on you. On turn 1 in Mirror, it's ridiculous. On turn 1 against Guardy, it's ridiculous. Stops Fright Knight. Oh my god, Hex is so good in here. I can't believe it's a 1 count. I really want to put this up to 2. The only thing is we want to draw and hit combo, and the deck is so good when it's fast. It's already got enough clunk in the deck that playing 2 Hex is just not great. So although it's a one-of, it's something that you dig hard for and that you want to find early in the game, hopefully, so that you can spam it and use it. It's a really, really good clutch card in here for sure. We are playing the 1-of N. N is still an important card for those shuffle draw situations when you have certain pieces that you don't want to discard. Think about pieces of puzzle. Think about Mega Turbo. These sorts of cards you don't want to straight up Sycamore away. So some nice shuffle draw is handy. Additionally, against things like Rainbow Road, one of the only decks that can go toe-to-toe with Rayquaza in terms of damage. And in fact, because they're a non-EX, they probably have favourable prize trade. So we have to end them, KO their Xerneas, and hope that they don't draw back into things like Elixir DCE. That's pretty much how we're going to balance out that matchup, or at least hope to do so. The 2 count of Lysandre is important because really we want to close the game out as quickly as possible as the Rayquaza player. Our attack hits really hard, but it's easy to counter, so you want to close the game out in 3 to 4 turns before your opponent, has the resources to overcome you and start, throwing question marks into the deck and making it hard for us to win the game. We just want to make sure that we keep slogging away at EXs pretty much. And 3, Professor Sycamore. Still really important. We still just want to draw the maximum amount of cards possible to get our combo going, basically. Very simple stuff. From there, 4 Skyfield. Absolute must to max this card out. It's how the deck draws so quickly, and it's how the deck hits its output. It's really, really essential for this deck to have a full Skyfield count, as well as things like puzzle to recycle it. You always want this in your hand, basically, just for the threat of people replacing Stadium. I have already mentioned the 1 Floatstone in combination with the other things. It's still handy to have 1, slap it on the Dragonite or like the Magearna, so between turns you can flip-flop between your dudes and make the decisions later down the line. The 3 count of Spirit Link, I think 3 is absolutely fine because we have the Ancient trait, which means on our first turn we can just Mega to end our turn without needing Spirit Link at all. And I think we still access it quite nicely. It's just a 3 count, especially because in my testing, really, you never really set up more than 2 Rayquaza. I think you've already won the game if you set up 2 and they're, able to slog through the opponent. So I think 3 is fine, and we always have Puzzle to fall back on if it's too low for whatever certain circumstance. You can even slap this onto a Shaymin if you have no other place to put it, because there's the option to Sky Return, get it back later on. We do have 4 DCE, like I say, you can Sky Return, but really it's just for Emerald Break. Dragonite does have an attack, Hyper Beam for 4 colours energy, does 130 and forces the discard from the opponent's active. I've never used it yet, but with DCE it's potentially an option. Even Magearna's attack is an option. Soul Blaster for Metal to Colorless does 120, next turn's base damage is only 60. But being a Metal type, you can actually threaten Guardies with this attack, so maybe that's an option for you. And then we just have 4 Metal Energy to round out the deck. Pretty simple stuff. There's not many Pokemon options I consider. Something I definitely used to like in here was Bunnelby. Because we're playing Puzzle, I really don't think it's completely necessary to play the Bunny. In terms of items, Super Rod is something you could consider. Now that we have Brock, I'm much more content to cut the Rod. And again, we have the Dragonite. I think I'd sooner put in second Dragonite than 1 Dragonite, 1 Rod, in my opinion. I think that's absolutely fine. Another option is Pokemon Ranger. Ranger means that we can get around things like Regice, as well as we can stop Chaos Wheel. We can, put Stadium in and play a DCE and just hope that that sticks for the following turn. It's not ideal, but it's something that you could opt to play if you're really worried about those sorts of decks. But yeah, that's it for Rayquaza. I think it's just important to be fast and consistent. Oh, there is actually one more card I should talk about. Special Charge. If you're choosing not to play the Puzzle build, I know some people aren't a fan of Puzzle of Time in here. Special Charge is probably a one-off that you have to play. So if you're trying to make cuts, because if you want to cut the puzzle just for space, think of it as 3 slots rather than 4, because as soon as the puzzles come out, you basically have to put in Special Charge to make up for that loss, in my opinion at the very least. So there is pretty much most of the things that you'd want to consider with this deck. That's at least if you want to go down the metal route. If you want to play water, you can play things like Manaphy for the freedom of movement. You can play what's it called? You can play Lightning to play Jolteon if you want. That's a way around Giratina. But at the moment I like the metal build. It's just pretty simple and it protects you against Sizzle, which is a growing concern because it can stand up to Ray, and it's obviously got a decent Gardevoir EX matchup. So yeah, I'm happy with the metal count right now, or the metal line that we're taking in here. And we don't have too bad of a starting hand here. Going first, which is nice. Have Skyfield, which is always something you want to find early. We have some supporters and Trainer's Mail as well, so this could get even better. And looks like we're up against Raticate Ariados. This is a new Evolutions archetype. Could be pretty interesting. We are not going to take anything from this Trainer's Mail. We'll put Skyfield in and set up for 2. Finding basic energy is really good, but finding the Skyfield is pretty horrible. Trying to think about which stadium the opponent's going to play. Can't really think of many. I'm actually going to attach to Magearna because we can threaten this guy quite nicely. I'm happy enough for Sycamore here. I think we don't need the damage output in this matchup because the Raticates have such low HP. Jirachi is actually going to be a pretty helpful card in this matchup. But this is a pretty grim hand to draw into, so we'll just pass. Threatening the KO on the Rattata, but not much else right now because our hand is pretty dead. But we'll see what we can do here. We're going to see an Ultra Ball getting rid of 2 Grass Energy. See a Shaymin EX come down. There's the Fury Belt onto the Rattata. Surprised they play Fury Belt. I wonder what other Pokemon they're playing to take advantage of Fury Belt. Unless they're straight up worried about being like turn 1 bopped, but I don't really see that being important. What grass types need Fury Belt? Really can't think of many. Answers on a postcard or down below. That's probably a bit more convenient. See a couple of Trainer's Mails. He's definitely going to want to try and find more Rattata. They've not played a supporter yet. Could be an N. I wouldn't mind that at all. They're going to discard Sycamore and Ariados, so they're probably holding on to VS Seeker. Oh, they play Sceptile. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So it's Sceptile Ariados with some amount of Raticate. They're also playing Elixirs, which is actually kind of scary. And there is the VS Seeker for the clean old Sycamore. Gonna see Trainer's Mail for N. Would have been nice. Oh well. We can still top deck. And we get bitten for 20 thanks to the Fury Belt increase. And that's not the top deck that we're after. Let's pass. So, attach to Sceptile, go into the Ariados, he can actually one-hit KO us, right? With the poison. Gonna see a Sycamore. Getting rid of, ooh, a nice hollow Brock's Grit. Fury Belt onto Sceptile. Still need to find the Ariados because it's the activator for his damage. But we've drawn pretty poorly. Gonna get hit with Crunch. Oh, and thanks to Mystic Heart, we don't have the discard. I was really confused then. That's really good for us. We're going to Ultra Ball. So yeah, Magearna protects around that guy too. Nice. The more you know. Let's Hoopa. We don't want Dragonite here. I think we just take these two. Kind of concerned about attaching the Floatstone to the active because we know he plays Rattatas. So I think I'm just going to put it onto Hoopa. Going to do these things. Going to set up. Are we really going to Sycamore away our last Skyfield? Going to retreat Magearna because it is actually important in this deck to keep alive because of the rats that he plays. And I think we're going to go for it. Let's single puzzle. We don't really want those cards. Oh well. Hope to find DC or 4 cards basically, because we know what else we're drawing into. Trainer's Mail, I guess. Second puzzle, let's go in. Sure. I can puzzle Ultra Ball plus Mega Turbo to guarantee. Then we lose all of our Skyfield and there's no way to recover them. Sure. Alternative is to take one puzzle back, but there's no single, there's no 2-card, like there's no 1-card combo I can attack this turn if we go down that line. So we'll do this. We'll not take a card and then we'll use Hoopa to get us there. Gives us one more draw card this way. So we've got attacking. It's our only threat on the entire board, but I think it's fine. Trying to think about what stadiums he would play. I doubt he has space for many. If he's playing like Elixirs, 2 stage 1 lines, I don't really know what stadium he'd want to play. So have to wait and see, I guess. We'll KO the Eradicate. Get ourselves Trainer's Mail. And in comes Sceptile. Well, they don't play stadiums, but they play Delinquent. Gross. Okay. I guess the Ultra Balls go? Gross, gross, gross. Gross. Far from ideal. Let's see if they have the... Ooh, there goes our Spirit Link. Oh, he didn't even choose to do it. I guess it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, he actually wants to keep it on because it gives me the right to like float stone it. Does he have Ariados or not? Nope, just the Unseen Claw for 70. That's pretty good for us. Start attaching to Magearna. I think we actually need it this game. We'll just Emerald Break for 150. Go for the 2-hit with this guy. Don't feel it's worth going for Trainer's Mail. There's no 1 card I really want. Let's just end-proof ourselves a bit better. See an Elixir. Goes on to the Rattata. The Eradicate Break obviously has a 2 energy attack cost. Here comes Wally. Wally into Ariados so that he can poison us, and he'll be doing 150 this turn, which is exact knockout, which is pretty cool. We're going to see Level Ball as well for Eradicate. Potentially I could have Trainer's Mail to go for Hex, I guess. Yeah. Maybe that was important. Either way we can respond with Magearna, so... So now we definitely need to Hex if possible. N might be the play. I really can't deny this. If he gets Eradicate Break, we're in a lot of trouble. Let's play N. Well, well, well. Okay, we get our Rayquaza at least. That's something we were definitely digging for. Seeing as though we prized 2. Just pray for no Eradicate Break. It's not the easiest card to search out, but he does have Ultra Ball now. Okay. Problems have occurred, guys. This Magearna's going down. Just kidding. We have Mystic Heart. We're going to see another Sceptile. With a Max Elixir as well, and an attachment. They can retreat here and actually get the KO. Gross. Well, that's a pretty good 4-card hand, I'd say. Pretty gross. Let's go for Sky Return. Recover that Spirit Link. I think it's kind of important now. There's Eradicate Break. A Sceptile and a Elixir. Fails. I see Poisonous Nest. And Unseen Claw for the knockout. Well, that went better than expected. We actually got the Ultra Ball off the top. So we got to dig for this Hex. We lose if we don't get a Hex, I think. We'll play the switch to have one more draw. We almost guarantee it. As long as our bottom two cards are not Hex Trainer's Mail, we get there. Okay, cool. Three, 6, 9. Oh wait, I forgot I kind of needed damage as well. Whoops. 6, 9. I guess this is the same amount as not playing down Shaymin. Like 12 isn't different to 9 in this respect. So we need to chain Hex. Okay. Gross. Maybe an alternative was just Lysandre the Ariados this turn and KO it, because we know there's one in the discard pile. My only concern is that he does play Brock, so... I'm going to see the Sleep Poison. Fortunately for us, gets Tails. So yeah, we VS Hex here. So that Raticate can't ruin our day. We will Emerald Break for the knockout. Picking up our last VS Seeker is important, because now we can N ourselves back to stop deck out if he wants to promote this guy. Everything else we can one-hit KO. It might be a Crunch this turn as his best line. Shadowy Bite is doing 60 right now. Okay, CVS Seeker for N. So N plus Crunch seems like a good play from him. Oh, that's gross. I mean, I didn't bench the Shaymin though, so we haven't got the KO. That's really gross. That's just gross. Well, sometimes lucky, I guess. Well, Rayquaza really struggled there. Hopefully we get another good game. That was interesting. Ray didn't draw fantastically well, and also almost got figured out by a Sceptile Raticate Ariados deck. I think just not finding Hex made that a lot more difficult, and that's a worry that you only play one copy of things. Like, it could be prized, it could be at the bottom of your deck, and you just can't access it. That is a potential issue with this deck. There's a lot of potential issues with Ray. I personally am really not a fan of the deck at all, but it's getting a lot of hype right now. I just don't think I play it that well personally. But yeah. It's still just a crazy powerful archetype, so you can't really disregard it ever. So we lose the flip and the opponent gets to go first. Leading with a pretty good hand here. Got the Hoopa turn 1, we've got DCE, Mega Turbo being threatened. If we top deck at basic energy, we have the Dream hand. Looks like we're up against Yanmega something. Oftentimes Yanmega plays Klefki, if it's the Vespiquen build at the very least. And that's where the one-off Rope is better than a Switch, definitely. Obviously we have the thick Lysandre count of 2, so there's a few things we have going for us here. By no means an easy matchup. But we do have some answers for sure. We see a Remoraid. Finding that one-off Hex again is going to be quite important. We're going to see an N out of almost the Dream. Oh dear. Bye, best hand ever. Hello, best hand ever. Not bad. Oh, they're playing balloons. Okay, I can handle balloons. There's Forest. There's Yanmega. And there's a pass. Not bad. Not bad at all. So first thing we'll do is replace the stadium. Then we're going to slap down Hoops. Going to find a Ray. Already have Shaymin in hand, so we'll just grab Magearna. And I don't mind grabbing Dragonite just to pluck him out. Do I mind that? Let's just get some Rays. We'll bench. We'll play the switch to get one more card from Shaymin. We'll bench. We'll Spirit Link active. We'll Magearna. Don't think it's really worth puzzling for one, especially because N is the supporter that's currently in our hand. If this was a Sycamore, I might consider it. We have double puzzle. But only a switch in hand, so we'll keep digging. Sure. We'll end this hand. If we get Trainer's Mail Ultra Ball, that's the ideal here. Oh, nice. Really nice. Because now we can puzzle for Trainer's Mail Ultra Ball. In the hopes of finding... what's it called? Mega Turbo. And DCE. So we puzzle... Actually, I puzzle back Spirit Link Trainer's Mail. I don't need another Ultra Ball. Trainer's Mail, Spirit Link. Yeah. Try and find that Mega Turbo. No dice. Try and find DCE Mega Turbo. Ah, we didn't get there. We didn't get there. Now, I wasn't counting how many Shaymin we had. Think I have one more? Let's go. It's not that important to hit that much in this matchup. Yeah, it definitely didn't count. We've prized 2 Mega Ray this game. Gross. We'll just do that, I guess. Attach pass. We're playing around Bursting Balloon, guys, it's fine. Well, we cycled a decent amount of the deck, 28 cards. We'll see what the opponent can do here. They've got the breakout. The regular Yanmega's doing more damage right now. They are playing a Raichu. That's a problem. That's a real problem. DCE. So I'm guessing he has like VS Seeker for N. Well, he can Octillery back up to 5, right? Lysandre for Shaymin. Okay, okay, cheeky. Very cheeky. Does he have a way of one-hitting the Shaymin this turn? Maybe if he plays Octillery. Not Octillery, what's it called? Ariados? Other than that, I don't think so. Gonna see Barrier Break for 100. Sycamore off the top. Gross. There's Mega Turbo, just chilling. Now I kind of think I don't want to even attach it here. I think I just want to spread energy over my rays. He doesn't know that we've prized 2. Didn't really want a Sky Return there, especially because I don't know PTCGO. I've heard rumours that the mechanic on Sky Return into Bursting Balloon is messed up, so I didn't want that sort of issue to prop up. We're going to see the N. Getting us out of the Lysandre's a bit annoying. As long as he finds no more Pikachu, I still feel fairly comfortable here. Yeah, no Lysandre. Gross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll allow the Shaymins to go. We see another Remoraid. The opponent's really struggled to find basic Pokemon, which is really the only saving grace right now from the wrath of a Raichu. Gonna see a Trainer's Mail. This might be just failed to get into Yanmega range. Instead they do find a Bursting Balloon, which is a nice insta-play. That goes on to the Yanmega break. And we're going to see the Barrier Break to finish us off. So we will put in Skyfield. I think I DC Magearna here. It's not a bad attacker at all. We can VS Seek N here, I think. Alternative is to Brock Pass. Don't really like it. 3, 6, 9, 12. Nah, we want to end. We can't just keep sitting back and hoping they don't Lysandre us. They're going to at some point, so... Well, we got Lysandre. That's really all we were asking for, so... Content enough to pass here. It's kind of awkward, but we'll go for it. Hope that they don't have the Lysandre now. There's Raichu. Lysandre and lots of basic Pokemon would be sad for us. Abyssal Hand just for 1. There's Lysandre. Gross. And just Assault Boom for 120. Okay. I don't mind this too much. We always Lysandre here. We only have 120 damage for a start, so we couldn't deal with a break, so... It's a no-brainer to do this. Gonna see Trainer's Mail from the opponent for Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball gets rid of 2 breaks. Just for that, whatchamacallit, Pikachu. DC onto that guy as well. Abyssal Hand. Really doing work for him. It means I can't end him all the time, obviously. Let's see the Super Rod as well. Gonna recover most likely some of that Raichu line. Just one Raichu, Yanma, and Yanmega break, so they chose not to get a Pika back. That's quite interesting. There's the Forest. And a Sycamore. Pretty nice stuff. Rayquaza doesn't like dealing with non-EX focused decks. There's an Eco Arm. This guy's playing some interesting stuff. But it's doing work right now. There's that Bursting Balloon. Another Float Stone, why not? And Assault Boom, going to take him down to 2 prizes. Where's our Hex? Sure. Well, I'm going to single puzzle here, I think. We don't need the resources too much. Dragonite's a great pickup for next turn. The only hope really is that the opponents overcommit too many things, but I don't see it happening, especially with the Octillery. I think we're going to have to find Hex quite drastically quickly. And then somehow spam it. But this is scary. DC onto the break as well, and a Judge. Get judged out of our Dragonite. Boo. Into Dragonite. Yay. Oh, man. The comeback is on. Just kidding. This is horrendous. I mean, we still have a chance as long as we find Hex, right? It's another one of these games where it's hiding from us. Revitalizer's pretty good. Pretty good. Still has loads of Bursting Balloons as well. Put 3 back in there. Gonna see the retreat from the break. That's pretty smart. How many DC have they gone through? 2, 3, so he has 1 more in deck for sure. Oh, give me some Shaymins back. Trainer's Mail. We'll fail that. Attached to Magearna. Single puzzle. Gross, gross, gross. Ah! We still take VS here. Might well be prized. I haven't done my deck checks at all. Hey, cool. That's a Hex. Okay, so now we just hope their last DC is in their 13 card deck rather than their 4 card hand. Simple. Or I pay retreat into Magearna and be super safe. Let's think about how many prizes I have to take here. I think I don't have enough energy to retreat this turn. I retreat, I KO Magearna. Then Magearna has to retreat. I go back into the raid with a Mega Turbo. And I'm back in the same spot. I think we have to... I really think I have to Hex here. And still attack with a Ray. And just pray that he doesn't have DC in hand. Gotta go ballsy. Gotta go balls deep here. Oh dear, scary times. Does he have it? Ah, he had it. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think I've already explained why I considered retreating and chose not to. I just think because we still had 4 more attacks to go, we had to take the chance there. But yeah, let's get one more game in. 2 weird matchups. We've played against Yanmega stage 1s and we played against Raticate Sceptile. So yeah, hopefully we find a more metagame orientated deck. Hopefully we just find an EX deck. We've had to deal with loads of non-EXs over the last couple of games, and Ray's really not good at dealing with non-EXs. Too many resources for it. An interesting hand for sure. There's good and bad parts to it. The good parts are the Ultra Balls, the bad parts are the puzzles. And we see Trubbish in the active with the Float Stone. I'm already scared. Okay, so it's Dark Garb. Maybe. Dark Tina. Gonna see the Hoopa. Oftentimes the Hoopa build is Dark Tina Garb. And this is an interesting matchup. Pretty hard one. Honestly, I think Ray has a lot of difficult matchups. But hey, we'll do our best, right? He doesn't know it's Ray. Unless we mulliganed. Did we mull? I can't remember. He might know it's Ray. I'll have to look back and find out. Found an elixir. That's good for us. Shaymin. Pretty nice turn 1 for him. Now this is a typical turn 1 where he parallels himself. And if he parallels himself, I'm super happy here. Because he gets rid of one parallel that could be on us late game. That would be ideal. Do it. Parallel away your easy prizes. Do it. Chooses to retreat this turn. That's interesting. Okie dokie. We can quite happily discard the Sycamore here simply because we have the puzzles in hand. They can act as a mini VS Seeker if we need them to. We have Hex, 3 Skyfield, prize 2 basic energy. That's awkward. Okay. Well, let's get our own setup going before that nasty Garbodor comes out. Kapow. Play switch. Sets up for 3. DC is pretty good. These are all really, that's a really good Shaymin. Fantastic. I can Spirit Link. No, but we'll do this first. That means I can guarantee another Shaymin. So I think now we play our puzzles, and I think we puzzle for Ultra Ball Male. We really want Spirit Link now. Take nothing. Huh. Punished for not finding Spirit Link. There's a debate around playing Hex this turn or not as well. He's already used Hoopa Shaymin, right? So I doubt he'll have any other draw. The only thing is we've opened up Skyfield for him to put down another Shaymin. I think we don't Hex. We save it in case of Tina coming out. We'll just turn end here. Whiff the KO. In hindsight, maybe the Spirit Link was better than the Skyfield. I was concerned about guaranteeing more Shaymin draw. But we play 4 Skyfield compared to 3 Spirit Link, so there is definitely a debate between the two. I think overall guaranteeing a total number of cards in general is the better option. So question that decision if you wish, but that was my mentality. Gonna see the Dark Pulse for 60. Okay. Pick up 2 Mega Turbo. That's pretty good. But that's really it, to be honest. Gonna use Hoopa while I can before Garb potentially comes out to improve our top decks. Gonna play 1 Mega Turbo, just the one, and then I'll Mega my other one for turn. Keep this option around. Continuing to attach to the Darkrai, he's choosing not to even think about Giratina. Interesting. Let's see a Dark Pulse for 80 now. Well, that's pretty grim. After our almost perfect turn 1, we've really slowed down quite a bit. Not going to play the Mega Turbo because options. Options. Gonna see the Super Rod. Surprised that they played the Rod there because they don't want to. Okay, I was gonna say if they're dead drawing, they don't want to draw back into Dark Energies off the top. They'd rather draw into things like Sycamore. But looks like the opponent's got out of the dead draw before us. Finds Floatstone for Darkrai. Finds another Floatstone for a Hoopa. Trainer's Mail. Haven't seen any stadiums yet. Oftentimes they save them for when they can Chaos Wheel plus stadium. I would really actually appreciate a stadium at this point because we could replace plus Dragonite. But don't tell him that. Gonna see the Ultra Ball, obviously with the extra space. He could go for another Shaymin if he wants to draw more cards. He's not attached for turn yet, so that could be an option. Looks like we just see a Darkrai, I think that was. So yeah, that gets benched. Maybe they already have Shaymin in hand. Yeah, cheeky. Gonna see an Elixir. That goes on to Giratina. That's guys starting to get powered up. You see a manual attachment to Giratina. Oh dear. There is parallel. So they did it a turn before Chaos Wheel lock, which I'm super happy about. Means they also get to move those two Shaymins off the board. Very cool. Gonna see Escape Rope. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay. I'd rather face tank with a Ray and like guarantee an attack next turn, or be more likely to attack next turn, than go Magearna, tank the hit, have to dig for a switch card, because we've already gone through our one switch. It's awkward, but we'll go for that line. He is going to go into the Darkrai. Does he have Garbodor? If he has Garb to finish out his turn, he's got a really good turn. That's when I'm scared. Please no Garb. Yes, just Dark Pulse for 120. I mean, we're still in a bad spot, but... oh, top decking like a beast. Dragonite, save me. 3, 6, 9, 12. Gonna Mega Turbo the bench. Twelve, 15. Really don't want to play Escape Rope here. Actually, I might. No, we don't. We want to clear energies off his board rather than him feeding us Hoopa. That just made Sycamore a whole lot worse. Well then. YOLO it is, I guess. Commit all these tools before Chaos Wheel. This gives me the option to Hex next turn. We really want to pluck some basic energy out here. Yes, that's good. Okay. So, if he responds Darkrai, we can KO it. If he responds Tina, we have Stardust. Not anymore, because we've got End. Max Elixir, fail. Double Dragon to Tina. Here comes Chaos Wheel. Scary times to be a young Dragonite. I mean, Rayquaza. Lysandre stalled. Darkrai is a play. We'll see what this Trainers Mail gives us. It's not a play. It's not a play, guys. Brock into Ultra Ball's a play. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I like Brock into Ultra Ball. Before we Brock, we Mega Turbo first. And we hope to draw into our Metal Energy. There it is, just chilling. So we take Hoopa and thin one more card by getting Shaymin, but if we take Shaymin, we have the option to Shaymin into Shaymin. What other insta plays do we have? We have Ultra Ball. I think it's better to just take Shaymin here. We got it. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 2, 10 with our bench. Nice. Now we just pray that he can't replace Stadium. If he does, what do we do? Don't know. We'll discuss that later. Kind of forgot that I brocked and I still needed to Hex. Kind of went YOLO. Probably should have Stardusted. See if we get punished. We almost definitely, like, we should really be punished, but he's already played one parallel down. Wonder if he has another. They often play two, right? Fury Bell onto Darkrai. Trubbish comes down. Attachment to Darkrai. Probably N. Yeah, there's the N. Cross your fingers for no parallel. No, GG. Pretty much. Damn it, Ray. Why do I play this deck so badly? Don't even know the best line now. Definitely should have, like 100% should have Stardusted last turn and been super safe. Ah, misplays. I don't play Ray. Don't think I ever will. Doesn't make it better the fact that I'm playing so poorly, but just saying. Hex 90 is terrible. Lysandre KO Trubbish is terrible. I think we have to Lysandre KO just to try and access our our basic energy and our prizes. So let's go for it. Nope. Yeah, I messed up. Yeah. We played Jirachi for this matchup and I just went against it. Whoops. Continue to get end. Guess that's fine. That's probably a bit aggressive on our opponent's part, actually. Don't know what else he wants to find. Like, he's been through 3 float stones, so I'm doubting Garbodor's ever coming out. And like, he won't Garb anyway because he needs this. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Concede? Sure. Why not? Yep. Tina Parallel's pretty good. Yeah, that was a weird one. I misplayed. I should. Oh man. Yeah, that was pretty poor from me. I mean, we did whiff that Darkrai KO as well. I think the complexion of that game completely changes if we get that KO on Darkrai. We go super ahead, I think, and then we just start racing. The fact that we didn't, we gave him an extra turn, we get smacked for 120, all of those bad things wouldn't have happened. Our Ray would have stayed alive for a turn longer. His initial Chaos Wheel wouldn't have got a KO, so he wouldn't have had to dig hard to get another Ray going. So many of those things all based on missing the turn 1. And I think that is kind of a story of Rayquaza, that it only really, like, it's super invested in doing that fast turn, and if it doesn't get it, the deck seems very mediocre because a lot of people are playing answers right now. So that's my 2 cents on Ray. I think Dragonite does help the deck. I still personally can't play it, as you just saw, and don't think I ever will be playing it. I don't like its meta placement right now, especially because it's been put back on the radar since the regional, and people are just going to counter it, and it's quite an easy deck to counter. So if you're going to pick up Ray and test it yourselves, be aware that the fact that it's still public enemy and people are going to try and counter it with, you know, E-Hammer, Parallel, Garb, Tina. These are all issues. So, and in some circumstances, some people play Giratina, Hammers, Garb all in one deck, and then you're very sad. So let me know what you guys think about Ray. I think the list is still kind of okay. I think it's fine. Obviously, it's very close to the list that won the regional, so you can't really question that, I don't think. Just really, I want to hear your thoughts about how well placed it is in the meta game, and would you continue to play this deck, or is it one of those decks that sort of has a one-hit wonder, then people tech for it, and it's pretty much unplayable for a few tournaments, and then it comes back and potentially does well. Who knows? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Please leave a like to this video if you did, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. For now though, it has been Joe from Omnipoke, and I am going to get back to testing Ray because I cannot play this deck as you just saw. See you later guys, have a good one.